just before kickoff, Pete Thamel came out with a report stating that Damon Williams was leaning toward the return to Washington. And throughout the game, more news broke stating that he actually was going to go back to Washington. Shout out to Washington for getting a quarterback. Shout out to the Big Ten for standing up behind the contract and putting it in force. And it leads to a lot of speculation of how things were handled. Did LSU get their hands on the contract and look at it and say, yeah, we're not paying all of that in a buyout just to get you here and then paying you on top of it? Which, if they did, then shout out to LSU for being fiscally responsible. But where does that leave you in the search for a quarterback? You know, Washington taking back Damon Williams is great for them. A lot of fans over there are going to have to, do a lot of, apologizing for being so harsh. And do I think that had Damon Williams came to LSU, would it have been a good fit? Yes. Like I said before, if Damon Williams would have came to LSU, the hate would have been rolling from sea to shining sea. So now what happens? So Sam Levitt's going on a visit to Miami, and apparently the way that the visit ended in Baton Rouge doesn't seem like it might be a viable option. But nothing's done until it's done. So until LSU has a quarterback, it's not over for him. Or until Sam decides to commit to another school outside of Baton Rouge, it's still an option. How much of an option? I don't know, but it's still an option. So the other quarterbacks to look out for is Deuce Knight. But there's going to be some competition for Deuce Knight too. I know Ole Miss is a heavy favorite. Even Auburn's trying to get back into the mix to bring him back. So what do you do? I don't know. Like I've always said, I don't care. I don't care what we do. I do not care at all. I don't care. Why? Because we have the coach. We have the most important piece of the puzzle. We have the coach to make this work. And as long as we have the right coach, the quarterback play will take care of itself. Because I trust the evaluation, I trust the process, and I trust the coaching on the sideline to make sure that we are going to be okay. Will we be as explosive or as dynamic? Probably not. But will we be competitive? Yes. I mean, who knew that there was a Ferris state in the United States of America before 2025, outside of the players on their roster or the teams on their schedules? I don't even know who Ferris State played, but Ferris State is on the map largely in part of Charlie Weiss Jr. and Lane Kiffin. And guess where they coach? At LSU. Full time now since the Ole Miss season is over with. So I don't care at all who we get. I don't care. I'm not going to stress out over it. We got a fire receiving room. The biggest win of the offseason so far is keeping Blake Baker, because biggest win is Keith Carter promoting Pete Golding. Because if Keith Carter doesn't promote Pete Golding, then Lane Kiffin potentially brings Pete Golding to LSU, and then we lose our entire defense. Now that we have Blake Baker and we're keeping our defense, we're keeping DJ Pickett, we're keeping Devon Keys, we're keeping Don McKinley, we're keeping PJ Woodland, we're keeping Deshaun Spears. And then we add a Ty Benefield. We add potentially a Jordan Ross, which should be announced soon. We're adding a Stephalian Green from Clemson. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, man. We're adding these top-end defensive line and edge rushers to a defense that was already solid, really solid. And then you're still in play for guys like Chaz Coleman. So you pair that with the offense that you've seen putting up 30 points in every game since Washington State. Compared to what we just had this season, come on. That feels great. That feels amazing. So heads up, chin up, Tiger fans. I know a lot of people are going to be trying to troll. Oh, LSU doesn't have any quarterbacks. LSU doesn't have that. We have Lane Kiffin. We have the one chess piece on the board 9 out of 10 teams wish they had. Every school in the SEC wishes they had Lane Kiffin outside of Georgia. Every school in the Big Ten outside of Indiana and maybe just in Oregon wish they had him. Every school in the Big 12 wish they had him. Every school in the ACC wishes they had him. But we have him at LSU. So trust in the staff, in the process. Trust that they're going to build a roster that's going to win. It's going to be competitive and go out there and be successful. And then we're going to have fun. So I'm going to wrap things up for now.